Those stories and more tonight on Money in Politics for Friday, July 11th, 2008. I'm Peter Cook in Washington. Welcome to Money in Politics and happy Friday. More now on the ripple effects from the subprime mortgage mess. Vacant houses, vandalism, frightened neighbors. Think we're talking about inner city America? It's actually a description of a Washington, D.C. suburb decimated by foreclosures. Bloomberg's Lizzie O'Leary reports on the new slums post-subprime.
Lush yards, good schools, room for kids to play. All the amenities of suburban living. But today's housing crisis means a different story is playing out behind some of these closed doors.
Some folks, they just give up. They just don't want to continue making the payment. And instead of trying to work something out with the lender, they just walk.
This three-bedroom house in Woodbridge, Virginia became vacant 2 months ago after the lender foreclosed.
What can I say about this room?
Fragments of family life remain, as does the monthly bill for a 13.5% mortgage. 3 years ago, this house sold for $375,000. Elliott is now trying to unload it for $189,000.
Believe it or not.
He sees roughly 90 houses like it every week, a number that threatens to blight this suburb and others across the country.
Everyone in the industry is doing what they can, but due to the sheer volume of foreclosures that are out there, there's only so much that they can do.
Prince William County, Virginia is about 35 miles south of Washington. Just a few years ago, it could hardly build housing fast enough.
We clearly were the boom community in the Washington metropolitan area for residential housing construction.
Now it leads the state with more than 5,000 foreclosures, roughly 1 in every 100 homes, according to RealtyTrack.
It has a spin-off effect not only on real estate values as demand for property is below supply, but also on things like sales tax and the kind of commercial activity that goes with that group of folks living in the community.
You can see the trash in this yard and the unmowed grass. What you can't see is the smell that's coming from this house or the vandals the neighbors say have broken in. All of this brings down the value of the entire neighborhood.
I don't feel like it's safe at all. Like I said, we just had a couple people break into the houses, cars. It's terrible.
Kudos lived on this tidy street in Prince William's Dale City neighborhood for 8 years. She just finished planting her flower beds.
I think it's time for us to get up and move. My neighbors are actually there. They're thinking about getting up and move too, and they've been here 17 years.
In this market, though, moving will be a challenge. Houses on this street have lost almost half their value in the past few years. Far from the suburban ideal most of these families were seeking.
And that's why we moved here. It was just a good school area and walking distance for elementary and then the high school area. But, you know, and just to see what's happening now, and you kind of wonder, is it going to get better before it get any worse?
The county is trying to prevent blight.
It's a contagion that spreads, and you will get whole areas that look like bombed out neighborhoods like we had in the central city in the 60s.
County workers now mow the lawns of abandoned houses to keep them from becoming vandalism targets. And the county is planning to let local banks manage some of its investment portfolio if they finance home loans for county workers to buy foreclosed properties.
We've said as a policy guideline, we'll commit up to 5% of our entire investment portfolio. That's about $50 million. That'll support a fair number of mortgages.
Gerhardt knows that's just a stab at the problem. He's hoping that once housing prices get low enough, the market will take care of the rest, and that residents will have the patience to hang on until then. Lizzie O'Leary, Bloomberg News.